Can you believe it's already August? The Leos are Leoing, the Virgos are coming, and then the Scorpios. It's getting late in the year.
Damn it! I just thought about that. Tiffany gone. Should be that time when she says it's her birthday for 6 weeks straight.
You're full of shit.
You thought it was hard to get her on and get her in front of the camera before, you know. Now it's gonna be like, hey, we got a show. Like, what you mean? It's my birthday. I can't do it. And like Tiffany, it can't be your birthday today, and last week, and the week after that.
You're full of shit.
I mean, the last I seen from her was I think she was still on the Cowboy Carter tour. She's been a cowgirl for about the last 2 months, line dancing with the lightly melanated curly hair girl.
Let her tell her that ain't her. That ain't her tram. She's like, I always had this hat and cowboy boots. Like, okay, Tiff. Okay, all right. People are following you. Okay, all right. That's what this is. All right. You're Beyonce.
You're full of shit.
Speaking of Beyonce, it's crazy how, certain people in politics just create controversies out of nowhere just to distract. We're asking for the Epstein files. He said, well, Sydney Sweetie, her commercial, her jean commercial is better than Beyonce. It's like, bro, what are you talking about?
Well, what did that have to do with anything? I could have went.
What is this?
I was years old when I found out who Sydney Sweeney was, and I didn't need to know who. That's not somebody I needed to know. I still don't know what she does besides wear jeans and have ambiguous, racially charged commercials while in them.
I don't know if it was a weird decision from American Eagle to have that kind of advertising campaign. My jeans look good, whatever it was, but certain people are just going to take certain things and run with it. Like, come on, man, can y'all be less stupid today? I know it's asking a lot, but can we do it? Can we try? I don't know if you heard the Bears was valued at 8.8 billion. This is after there's been like a little bit of a deal struck up on the McCaskey and some private equity. I don't have all the facts on that right now, but
are they for sale? I mean, you want to go in on that?
I'm a few B's short.
Can you call Harry JJ3 Tiff? Rick and Z? I think we pull our resources together. I think we can do it.
But yeah, the Bears are now valued at 8.8 billion. I think it wasn't too long. I think the last team valuation that I saw for around the NFL, I think the Cowboys are only at like 10 or 11.
Only? Yeah, that's not a lot.
Yeah, it's not a lot, but I know why the Cowboys are valued up there. I get that. But the Bears, we got an aging infrastructure at where the team plays. They don't own the building. They own area where a building will be placed. It remains to be seen how, I guess, revenue generator that will be. But yeah, so valuing it at 8.8 billion so far is kind of piqued my curiosity, but I bear down regardless.
Bear down. Maybe Kanye will buy him. Is Kanye still a billionaire?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I have no idea what's going on with Kanye.
I think we need another famous Chicagoan to buy the Bears just so they can take off. Who would you rather buy the Bears, Chief Keef or Kanye?
I think if Keith bought them, he will move the team because Keith, he left the squad. Well, Kanye, he left Chicago too. He came back. He was like, I want to get on the L. Like, Kanye, can you be for real for one day in your life? You're not riding the L, bro. I think Keith knows to put people in the right position, so he ain't doing all the decision making. Kanye, you remember he was dating Kim. He started dating Kim Kardashian. He was threatening her ex-husband, his job on the Brooklyn Nets, just because. Yeah, I know Jay-Z. I know the owner. I can get you fired. We don't need that with the Bears. We don't need somebody that's who gonna diss the players on wax. We don't need.
Well, I know one thing about Kanye is he will know the importance of the Bears-Packers rivalry. He ain't letting the Packers slide.
And you know what? Keith either. Unlike some other drill rappers from Chicago, he gonna slide for his.
I ain't seeing Keith in no Packers gear.
No, he don't wear green. I don't like. That's That's a good topic. What famous Chicagoan should buy the Bears? Obviously, Bill Murray. Obviously, Bill Murray should be involved in this.
Throw Obama in. I'll throw Obama's name in that ring.
Jeff Garland, got to get in there. Big Cat. He's also got to get a steak. And my man Kaplan. Kaplan from ESPN 1000. He got to get a steak. That's 5 guys. I ain't talking about burgers. It's 5 guys that definitely should put in for the Body Bears. They got $8 billion. Obama, yeah, him and between him and Michelle, Sasha, Malia, they got a lot of big. They got a lot of bread.
Yeah,
They can buy the Bears themselves.
they can do it.
That would piss off Trump so much.
MAGA would hate the Bears. That would be that man. Would they boycott the NFL? Would they threaten to boycott the NFL if Obama bought the Bears?
Trump is a former investor or whatever he did with the USFL, and he wanted to buy into the NFL. They
League.
told him, "No, get
Yeah.
your toupee up out of here." You'll be pissed they let Obama buy a squad.
He would. Yeah. Yeah. I forgot. He did try to buy into the NFL. I forgot about that. They told him. They told him his money was no good.
Yeah, I think he wanted to put an expansion team in New Jersey, something like that. I forget. But
yeah, they wanted no parts of him.
Yeah, get out of here, Trumpy. That'll be great. One joint practice down, one more to go, Q. How did the Bears look in this joint practice with those surprisingly chaotic Miami Dolphins?
Apparently, the defense dominated. Really took it to the Dolphins. You had 3 interceptions in the practice. Tremaine Edmonds, Kevin Byard, and our boy Jaquan Brisker. It's important to note that the Dolphins didn't have Tyreek Hill. He's out with an oblique sprain. And I think Jalen Waddle also was missing time. So it's a depleted Dolphins unit. However, you had a healthy Tua. And as noted, he's one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the NFL. So, Sundays don't care who's hurt. You got to show up. I'm not taking any credit away from the Bears defense for dominating the Dolphins team with injuries because no credit will be given us if we show up without Jalen Johnson in week 1. Vikings will take what they can. And the Dolphins had an opportunity with Jalen Johnson missing. On the other side of the ball, the offense, there were some plays made, but still a little choppiness. I guess the tempo and intensity that we saw a couple of days ago wasn't there. Offense remains a work in progress, though. They're learning a new system. And even Case Keenum, who's been in the NFL 12 years, said this is, I think, the most difficult offense he's had to master. He's been, how many teams Case Keenum played for? 6, I believe, 7?
Half the league.
Yeah, so if veterans like him say it's a complicated offense, I think we all at least owe some patience to the Bears and Caleb with this offense.
I do want to stay with the defense for a second. Tyreek Hill, he is dealing with a contract thing. Been a lot of talk about Miami
He said
possibly
his
moving
oblique
on.
was strained.
Yeah,
That's the new thing to hold in camp, huh? With an injury.
you can't get fined if you show up. I'm here, so don't fine me. I'm just
I'm hurt.
doing my other stuff on the other side while y'all doing some actual work. So other than Tyreek Hill being hurt or not being hurt or just not practicing at the moment, the Bears defense did do their thing. They were very opportunistic, like you said. Your boy Brisker, he had a pick. I think it was a pick 6. They made life hell for Tua Tagovailoa, and there's a lot of we talk about what Caleb's not doing or what he what's going on with him in practice. Tua's been in this offense for what, 4 seasons now?
Yeah.
He got his butt kicked by the Bears defense. In practice, your other boy, you said Kevin Byard. He said the defense is taking a great steps. They're making great strides. They look like they're game ready. Tremaine Edmonds ended practice with the first unit with the interception in the red zone. The defense, out of all the turnovers the Bears defense caused, all the hitting, the fights, another practice of fights.
The Dolphins
was
apparently were fighting each other.
That was crazy.
You're supposed to fight the other team. It's a joint.
That's the point.
How much longer is Mike McDaniels going to be a coach of the Dolphins? Is he going to last the season? He's not going to be the coach in 2026. I think that's all but confirmed, unless the Dolphins somehow get into the playoffs.
Oh no, they can make the playoffs. I mean, he's got about 20, 21 weeks left in his coaching career with Miami. They make the playoffs and they get smoked.
They'll probably still get rid of him.
Oh yeah, because they're gonna still get swept by Buffalo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was funny because usually you get these joint practices as an opportunity to stop hitting on your own guys. Miami said, "You know what? Nah, I won't. I got smoke with you, buddy."
I'm not done with you.
Yeah, Mike had to jump in the middle of that. Little Mike didn't have to jump in the middle of that and start dragging players off. But and sidebar, have you seen the video of Frabel breaking up a fight, looking like Jeff Van Gundy?
No, I didn't. And Vrabel looks like a guy that can still play. What happened with that?
He jumped in. He jumped in a fight and got involved with it. He was he was at the bottom of the pile. He got out. He was bloodied up, and it looked like I said, Jeff Van Gundy. You know, when Zoe and LJ they got into it, Jeff swinging from Zoe's leg. That was kind of what Vrabel was doing.
Vrabel probably still wants to get in there and play linebacker. So he probably took that as an opportunity to add a little more CTE to his resume.
Not bad. All right, so Juwan Prisker, he's not playing with the Guardian cap. I think he's one of the only few Bears defenders who's not playing with the Guardian cap. Wish he was, but it was said that he's the tone setter. You know, his
He said
physical play is
he's not
second.
playing with the Guardian cap.
He's not wearing it in camp. He's just not his thing. He said he don't want to do it. Probably the guy who probably
Jaquan,
should wear it the most,
put
but
the goddamn cap on your head. Put it on during games. Because Roshan Johnson, I believe he said he's gonna play with it during games. You know, it's not many players that play with it. You can play with the Guardian cap during games, but players prefer to get that organic head injury. Um, nobody wants a process head injury. If you're gonna give me a head injury, give me the good one.
yeah. Brisker, he's everyone's following his lead. It seems like Tyler Gordon, he wasn't at practice. Jalen Johnson, he's still out. So Jaquan is stepping up as the I guess the de facto captain.
Yeah, you could really tell how the defense trailed off when Brisker left the lineup last year. I think he is a tone setter back there. I know Tyreek laid somebody out. I think before Waddle exited, Tyreek laid him out. But Brisker, he was physical in the joint practice as well. He's a physical tone setter. He's a guy the defense rallies behind. And I know this sounds strange, but he's one of the veterans here now. He's got he's one of the longest tenured Bears on this roster. He's been in 5 years. So half a decade, whether that's the Bears or any other NFL team, half a decade is a long time to be with one team. So you look at guys around the league. If there's a guy on the team that has 5 years, he's more than likely one of the longer tenured guys.
All right, let's talk offense now, man. So the offense, I've heard it was clunky. It was not very consistent. I think more of those pre-snap issues and cadence issues reared their ugly head again. Are you starting to get concerned with some of those things?
Not yet, not yet, because I expect these things to be ironed out. We still haven't got to a preseason game yet, so we still got time to iron this out. There is roughly a month left before the season. I'm not expecting them to hit the ground running in this offense. It's a complex offense. They're still learning it. Um, I'm comforted a little bit more by, I think the issues are um, learning the nuances of the offense rather than being talented enough in the offense. I think the talent is there. I think the work ethic is there. The guys are working. Uh, so I think that you'll see these ironed out. Now the season comes around, they're probably not going to be, 100% comfort and fluid in it, but the defense is playing well. I expect the defense to carry them. I expect the Bears offense to just start hitting its stride out of nowhere, maybe in October, November. And in the NFL season, it's a long 17-week season. You want to be playing your best football heading down the stretch anyway. So I'm not concerned yet. I mean, of course, as a fan, there's always things to worry about, but am I hitting the panic button? No. not anywhere near it.
Yeah. So what you just said the issues are a little bit more schematic, just learning the nuances of the offense. Some of the things that they did in the joint practice that wasn't good. Tight ends coasting Cole, who did catch a touchdown. Cole,
That's
all
tough
right,
from that
he
injury
took
wasn't serious at all. That he was back on the in the joint practice.
he caught like a long touchdown pass, if I'm not mistaken. Um, but yeah, some of the other stuff, we see nuances of the offense that tight ends taking bad angles on blocks. You had the offensive line being confused on and running backs too being confused on who to pick up on pass blocking. You had a lot of free
Yeah,
rushers
heard they
in
would have got
Caleb's
Caleb
face.
killed.
Mm-hmm. Wide receivers were failing to make meaningful blocks. There's a lot of blocking issue, but it wasn't too much later after the practice that it was reported that Ben Johnson keeping 17 guys out of the preseason opener. I think nine on offense, 8 on defense. Stuff like
I thought he
this.
said 9 on both
Pass
sides.
was it 18 guys? I thought I heard 17.
Okay.
Um, so stuff like this, not knowing who to pick up on pass pro, isn't that stuff you need to see live, not necessarily in practice?
That is a good question, and I've listened to a few different expert opinions via podcasts, via the radio. It's really divided. It's really divided. I'm torn, but I lean on the side of I think they should participate in the game. Um, I think you do want to see some live action. Uh, on the contrary, the thing is about lining up in these games. Ben Johnson said he was going to talk to Mike McDaniels about um, how to divvy up the joint scrimmage reps and the preseason. It could be that Mike McDaniels told him, "Hey, we're going to play a very vanilla base defense. You're not going to see disguised coverages. You're not going to see blitzes." So Ben Johnson may have decided that, look, you're not gonna get a good look anyways against the Dolphins defense. The best looks you're gonna get are in the joint practice because the Dolphins are gonna be evaluating backups and they're gonna be playing pretty much base defense, vanilla coverages, that type of thing. So maybe sending Caleb and them out there, you're not gonna get a fair evaluation. All you're gonna get is a possibility of injury. I think if those guys are going up against second team defenses and they're playing base cover two, vanilla coverages, they're not blitzing or at least not giving exotic blitzes, then what is Caleb in the Bears offense going to learn other than playing guys from a different uniform? That's it. And you're going to be playing guys from a different uniform that aren't, on the level of the Bears first team defense or the Dolphins first team defense. So I'm torn. Um, like I said, I would rather them play, but under the premise that they're going to see actual live game looks. Going up against a base 4-3 or a base nickel, I don't think that's going to serve them any purpose. I don't know what those game reps will give them if they're not seeing anything that they're going to see in the regular season. I think even at the early stages of this offense, they're going to know what to do against, base coverages. It's when defenses do the tricky things. Now, how do you pick up? How do you pick up this blitz? How do you pick up this defensive front? Um, there was a point where I heard during the joint practice that I believe it was Javon Holland. Was it? No, might have been Minka Fitzpatrick. I don't know if Holland is still there. I can't remember. Where Fitzpatrick um, called a shift or something, and he pointed out that Caleb didn't know what to do with it. And I guess that play resulted in it was blown up or would have been a sack. So, I mean, these are some of the things that I don't think you're going to get during a preseason game. So, um, while I do err on the side of preferring to see them playing a game, if Ben Johnson talked to Mike McDaniels and Mike McDaniels confirmed they're not going to do anything exotic, then I don't see the point of playing in a preseason game.
Where I'm at with that is, and I think we can go into a deeper discussion about should they play and should they not play. Is preseason worth it in anything for starters? Stuff like this, when we was talking about pass pro, I think you need to see how Caleb responds to adversity, chaos. As a friend of mine would say, you got to be able to be competent through the chaos. You gotta, and that's what you get out of preseason. When you're wearing that red jersey in practice, yeah, stuff break down. You're like, okay, blow the play dead. It's a sack. But no, I mean, in the back of your mind, like I'm not in danger. I'm not in danger. I ended up like Anthony Ricketts. I'm not going to miss any games because the play is blown dead. In preseason, you can get your ass tagged if stuff don't happen right. So
That's a good point.
you gotta be able to think on your feet. What do you do? Okay, stuff's breaking down. What do I do? That's the value of playing an actual live game.
When you put it like that, yeah, I do see the value because, like you said, in practice, when a play breaks down, the defensive end pumps the brakes and just tags you. Your quarterback in a preseason game, even though it's a meaningless game, those guys on the other side are trying to make the roster. Those guys on the other side are trying to earn playing time. So even if they're in, you know, base defense, when that edge comes around the corner, he's coming to do damage. He's coming to do bad things. So the value in getting Caleb out there is see how he reacts against that pressure. If the offensive line doesn't hold up, is he poised in the pocket? Is he stepping up in the pocket as versus to some of the things you saw him do last year where he tried to just escape pressure instead of, moving in the pocket and creating different throwing lanes. So those are the things that you do want to see that you can replicate in practice, but it's not like live games, even preseason games, because like I said earlier, in practice the defensive linemen aren't coming to do damage. In that game against the Dolphins, there's guys trying to make the team. So you will get a understanding of how Caleb responds to pressure. What if a guy blows assignment? You know, just like the running back and the tackle had a miscommunication. Things like that happen during the preseason game. You see, does Caleb hit his hot read? Does he know where his hot route is? Does he know what to do when the play breaks down? Does he take a bad sack versus throwing the ball away or getting it to the hot route or the outlet receiver? So yeah, now that you bring that up, I do see there is some value in playing preseason.
Let's stay with Caleb. He had a lot of nice flashes during this joint practice. He had a couple of plays where he was like, man, that's that boy, that's that guy. He had a back-to-back completions to Cole, and to DJ. One of them was on a play action pass to Cole Kmet, and he had one of those patented quick hitter bubble screens to DJ. Gained a lot of ground. So also with the guy Caleb, I think we're turning that corner. This week with the practices, the super physical practice on Tuesday, you had this joint practice, and then you had the stuff over the weekend. I think we're turning the corner for Caleb. We've gotten consistently good practices day after day after day with this guy, and I think the ability to turn shit to sugar from some things that we've seen from the offense. I think we're starting to see that. I thought you starting to see get a grasp of the offense. Is like, how can I make this play? Or how can I make this this throw look? How can I grab something out of this and still get some positivity out of this play? You know what I'm saying? There's still the work in progress with cadence issues, and that's kind of starting to irritate me too. You got one good day, one bad day with guys just like lining up, right? But I'm starting to see the consistently growth from Caleb. Are you catching that as well?
Yeah, definitely. That's why I'm not in. That's why I'm not in panic mode with Caleb. And I also understand that Ben Johnson is throwing him in uncomfortable situations to test to see what he's good at. And they're also doing things where they're trying to break habits. And I saw one thing where they were in, Caleb is a guy that has great escapability. He has great when plays break down, he's able to extend plays. That's one of the reasons why he was so coveted coming into this, that 2024 draft. He does some of the things that you just can't teach. And they've been trying to get him to play within structure during this camp. So they've been kind of limiting limiting the things that where he gets out the pocket and extends plays. They've been trying to focus on learning within instruction in the pocket. So No, I'm not concerned because I feel like when the games do play, natural instinct take over. You'll see Caleb doing the things that made him special at USC. Some of the special things you saw him do last year.
Personnel notes from this practice. Kevin Byard, he got into a little, I won't say fight, but he was hemming up one of the Miami boys, and Tyree Stevens came over there. And he did actually fight. He did actually escalate the situation.
Tyreek
Yeah, Tyreek.
never
He
changed.
lives for this
Tyreek
type of stuff.
never changed.
Exactly. We talked about the two Dolphins. They were fighting each other on the sideline. Kyler Gordon, he didn't practice. Darnell Wright, he did practice. He had missed the previous practice with the well, he didn't miss it. He had limped off, so he returned to practice for this joint. Justin Jones and Ozzie Trapillo, they were rotating at left tackle. Trapillo had the brunt, the majority of the snaps, I believe they said. Let's say that was shown on the depth chart as the starter. I think a lot of the new players, a lot of the rookies, they are shown as backups, including Costa Loughlin, because it looks like the base formation for the Bears are going to be 12.
It's looking like that,
You
yeah.
like you like that? First of all, you like how Ben is putting the rookies in their place. Like, hey, look, you still got a ways to go. You got to earn it first. You're not done earning it. A couple of weeks in practice, it hasn't earned.
Yeah, and I saw rookies around the league are shown for the most part at the bottom of the depth chart. And there's guys like I looked at the Broncos. RJ Harvey is listed as the fifth running back. There's no way he's going to be the fifth running back. In fact, I expect him to be splitting carries with J.K. Dobbs. I seen Luther Burden. Where was he at? He's behind. I think he's the sixth on the depth chart. I know he's behind Zacchaeus in a slot receiver, but I'm pretty sure that when the season starts, he's not going to be behind Devin Duvernay and Boykin. Those guys aren't gonna. One of those guys probably aren't even going to be on the roster. Now Zacchaeus might start over him, but yeah, you seeing the young guys having to earn it. Monungai was listed behind Homer and Ian Wheeler. So I don't expect that. I think you get an idea of the depth chart, but I think rookies got the classic you got to earn your way type thing.
With the left tackle, you've got Braxton Jones at one, Ozzie Trapillo showing up at number two. Kyron McGonaghy's I think it's fair to say distant third at this point.
Yeah, and I heard he was
Um,
taking reps at right tackle as well. I think
mhm.
I think his role is that swing tackle role, and I think they haven't announced anything officially, but I don't think Kyron is competing for that starting left tackle job.
Have you heard that Ozzie's also been doing some right tackle work?
It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, he played a lot of right tackle in college, and to be fair, if anything happens to Darnell Wright, that's the guy I want to see at right tackle. I don't want to see Amagachi, even though I told you let's have a little patience with him. If something happens to Darnell Wright, the man I want to see at right tackle is Trapillo, and then I want to see Braxton at left. So I don't think Trapillo taking reps at right tackle is necessarily him conceding that starting spot. I think that's necessary. Even if he wins that left tackle spot, something happens to Darnell. Like I said, I want Trapillo on the right side. I want Braxton on the left side. I don't want Kyron in there and either Braxton Jones still on the bench. You got to get your five best guys out there. So having some cross positional versatility, I think is very important.
Which tells me that this is a very important season for Mr. Darnell Wright. Because Ozzie's getting a lot of Ferry's getting a lot of work this off season. They didn't draft him in the second round for him to be a rotational guy and to be like just a chess piece coming off the bench. He gonna take somebody's spot.
He's gonna
So
take
you
somebody's spot,
better.
and he's a mountain of a man. And so
I
far,
hear that so often.
man, he's a big dude. He stands out. And thus far, what we've seen in training camp, we've seen he's good in his stance. He's got good bend. He's got good feet. You get he's 22, 6'8". I
Mm-hmm.
mean, the frame still could be filling out. So you draft a guy like that. He's moving like this. He's um, understanding the playbook. Yeah, he's taking somebody's spot. So Braxton and Darnell got to be on their A game because one of them probably won't be back next year. My money's on Braxton, but yeah,
I think that's an easier call to make because Darnell Wright is still first round pick.
still on his rookie contract as well. Although he's heading into territory where he'll be. This is third year, so for a guy that's a first round pick. This is an ultra important year for Darnell Wright. This is the year where if you come and do your thing going into the off season, you asking Ryan, "Where's my money?" Because you're heading to the fourth year, and you don't want them to stick that fifth year tag on you without having a deal in place after that. So this the Darnell Wright, "Where's my money?" year.
Let's downshift to talking about the coaches. We talked about Mike McDaniel, and I guess his culture is wearing thin and not getting the Miami Dolphins anywhere successful. Then you have Mike. We talked about Mike Vrabel. He still wants to be out there cutting up the guys, but Ben Johnson, he hasn't coached the game yet. I know you can't really evaluate him yet, but from everything you've seen, everything you've heard, yeah, he looked like he brings the culture. One of the things the Bears lacked last year. Kevin Byard, he agrees. He said it's a culture shift with the guy. He's got that intensity. He compared his intensity to Mike Vrabel. Remember when we were early in the coaching. Yeah. Remember we was early in the coaching search. Man, you talked. We said, man, I think Vrabel might be that guy that this team actually needs because he brings that intensity. It looked like we lucked. It looked like we lucked out. We got the exit and nose and the intensity with Ben. Man, you feel that?
Oh yeah. I wasn't against Vrabel at all. Ben Johnson was my 1A. Vrabel was my 1B. I know the concern with Vrabel is being a defensive guy, and you're looking at Caleb Williams. So a lot of people wanted an offensive guy to develop Caleb Williams. I didn't just want an offensive guy to develop Caleb Williams. I wanted the offensive guy, and the offensive guy is Ben Johnson. The comforting thing about Mike Vrabel, I believe we were talking to Tiffany about him, was that Vrabel is a respected coach. This isn't Tressman. This isn't Eberflus. He's a guy that's going to get the top assistants. Vrabel is a guy that's going to attract a good coaching staff, and that's one of the biggest reasons why I wanted a Ben Johnson or Mike Vrabel, because these are the top two coaches on the market. And assistant coaches, coordinators, they like stability. When they come to a new city, they don't want to come to be on a staff where they might get cleared out in a year or two. That was one of the reasons why guys like Eberflus, guys we've had in the past, couldn't attract top, assistants. You have to show signs of stability. So yeah, Vrabel with the intensity, that's why I wanted him. You were going to have a team that was disciplined and tough defensively, but I'm actually surprised with how intense Ben Johnson is because, observing the Lions from, this side of Lake Michigan, we've always heard Dan Campbell was the rah, bring the fire. That was the reason why the Lions, played intense and showed up. But it looks like maybe the offense, maybe a lot of that credit should have went to Ben Johnson. He's just not a schematic genius. He's just not a guy that's drawn on the chalkboard. He's going to bring that emotion and that intensity that guys rally behind.
Like, even more so, that pushes the Bears off season into the realm of wins. We haven't taken an L yet this offseason. I don't like what's going on with the stadium, but George McCaskey, he agrees. He's lauding Ben Johnson as well. He was out there watching this joint practice. George McCaskey, he isn't like Jerry Jones. He isn't all in the video dancing. He ain't doing that right. But we get on his case.
Row.
Right. We get on old George's case. But he's a real Bears fan. He in the mix. He stay out the light, but he for the wins. He ain't for the dollars. Like, can argue Jerry be for the dollars. He don't care about wins or losses. He just want the money. So with him saying the same stuff about Ben Johnson, he like the Bears, he going all in with Ben Johnson. He paid the money while he's still paying Eberflus, stuff that never done before in Bears history.
Yeah.
So he believed this is the right way to go. So if he believes it, if the players are buying in, I'm in too. I can't wait for this new Bears era. It's gonna be fun, Q. It's gonna be fun because I'm not liking because the era with some of these other teams in Chicago is not fun right now.
Man, we are truly a frustrated Chicago sports fan, and I'm tired of our our fan experience living up to this channel name. I'm tired of it. I'd rather be frustrated with um the playoffs. You know, all the teams getting to the playoffs and maybe frustrated by a loss in the championship game or frustrated that we can't reel off 5 straight titles. This is not the type of frustration I like. You know, that's not the type of frustration I grew up with. I grew up as a fan of a 6-time champion and GOAT player. So something's got to change.
Other things going on in this week was more talk about the stadium project. That's more of a Kevin Warren thing. They haven't made any progress yet. They still need some state legislature help on some tax relief on the property. But it's looking like the groundbreaking won't be until next year. They are saying that Chicago and the downtown project, and quote, firmly in the rearview mirrors.
You believe that, or do you think there's more posturing?
I think it's still posturing. I think there's I don't believe we're in the bottom of the ninth or ending minutes of the fourth quarter on the stadium situation because just based on I know you need 3 years to build, and the Bears they are leased up at Soldier Field until 2034, so there's another 8 years there. So
Mm-hmm.
there's time. There's some wiggle room.
What do you? Kevin Warren said he wants shovels in the ground before 2026, right?
He did say that, but he ain't gonna get that obviously right now.
Thanks for listening to this latest episode from the Frustrated Chicago Sports Fan Channel. Don't matter if you listen to this on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or watch it on Twitch or YouTube. Make sure you like, subscribe, share with a friend, hit the notification bell so you never miss a drop. And to all the guys from Chicago, we say 3 things. Bear down, go Cubs go, and sell the team, Jerry.